Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird while watching webcast, and welcome to their exciting song events in Dublin. This evening's scene will take place just outside a noted Japanese food restaurant in the centre of the city proper known as Yamamoto Sushi. It's just opposite the Halfpenny Bridge in the bustling city centre. It's as dawn itself rises above the horizon, the sun crystal and bright, banishing the darkness that was the evening without stars, where the moon itself was free. Our matrons find themselves hither, dither, nither, and yon, making their way towards this sushi restaurant that is up a small flight of stone steps that obscures it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's mine, Richard. I can't really do much about it, so that is up a slight set of stone steps away from the. There's up a set of stone steps that separate it from the waterfront. Sitting outside, you'll see a man in long Victorian garb wearing a top hat that's pulled down over his head. He almost appears to be asleep. And we will intro people as they arrive. So first on my screen to intro is Sketch.
Sketch will emerge, probably in a green combat jacket. Looks a bit worse for wear, but will be smoking a cigarette as he's walking, hands in his pockets. He has all his equipment with him, so he kind of just walks up and just nods to the person and just seems quite relaxed and, doesn't seem really phased.
Cool. Next on my list for introductions, we have Samira.
Samira's turning on up. Not too far behind Sketch. This is the first time Sam and Sketch have seen one another since, Bullet Car.
Yeah, Sketch just gives her that sub, smirk.
So Sam smirks back.
All right, next on my list we have Richard Kennings.
And Richard will be wearing something suitable for shenanigans, so probably some casual jeans and like not sweater as such, but jeans and a sweater and things like that. Anyway, he'll be entering the scene as just shortly behind Sketch. He'll be arriving more or less at the same time, and when he sees their I wouldn't say host, but the person who obviously summoned them there, he nods politely and remains quiet, waiting to be told what the fuck is going on.
Okay, cool. Next we have Mara.
Mara will arrive in due course, probably arriving at around the same time as Richard does. They might have even come together, who knows? They're both from the same chantry. But yeah, she'll just walk up and just start. She'll get an idea. She'll get her bearings of the place. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next is Roris.
Let's see, what did I put this guy in on? A 2018 McLaren 570 will come roaring up at about 110 miles per hour and stop on a dime. Out of it will step Roros in all of his 18-year-old glory, carrying his backpack, his laptop case. He is jingling slightly as he walks, and he will pull out a skateboard and he will coast over to everybody on a skateboard, waving to Samira and Sketch, and also to Maximilian, because they're the only people he knows here right now.
On that, Maximilian is next.
Excuse the noise. I'm getting someone to take me to get some cigarettes because I'm a bad person. But Maximilian will simply slide up into the area, his arcane fully going, and just kind of is waiting there. Not sure what's going on or why he's there, or even why he's been invited.
Cool. And last but not least, we have Liam. Or I could say last, but certainly least.
Liam? He's dead.
Oh, Rory, sorry, I confused you two.
Ah, um, Rory is. I'm not sure where we are, but so it's having log-on issues.
You are currently outside a noted Japanese restaurant in Dublin city centre at about 6 o'clock in the morning as the sun is rising.
Do they have an all-you-can-eat?
It's closed.
Oh, well, that's disappointing.
That doesn't question.
A tall, lanky, red-haired young man in a bright saffron kilt and a white shirt, staring mournfully at the all-you-can-eat sign and the closed sign beside it. He's got a guitar slung across his back, and he just looks really saddened by that closed sign.
The individual who's kind of has his hat down over his eyes and is leaning back on the steps that lead up to the restaurant cocks the hat ever so slightly so you can see one of the brilliant green eyes underneath, and he says, "Okay, so you're my intrepid team of ne'er-do-wells and adventurers then, yeah?"
Yes.
Yes, that seems to be the case.
I don't see myself as an Erdoel, to be honest. I see myself more as a free spirit.
You absolutely are, Roris. It's fine, man.
He will, the figure will stand up, allowing the coat to kind of billow out behind him, and he'll say, "Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gravedigger. It's very nice to make your acquaintance."
And it's nice to make yours.
Does Rory do anything stupid like extend his hand?
Sure.
Oh, let's get it.
Gravedigger very calmly reaches into his pocket, removes a handkerchief, places it over his hand as he moves his hand down. Yeah, we're not going to have any of that. Okay.
Oh, nice to meet you.
It's nice to be met, I assure you. From what I've been told by His High Holy Pontificating Bridges, that one of the items that we require for the grand Hoogabajuba Juju Midlarky crap that he's doing is located not necessarily in here, however, this place is the gateway, if you understand, or rather, more aptly, in the men's bathroom, third stall to the left is the gateway. So, your mission is simple. Go and acquire the item. Frankly, I've got absolutely no idea what you're going to be up against, but this is going to be fun. Any questions?
Sam looks at the all-you-can-eat sign and the closed sign. She'll raise her hand.
Go.
I know it says closed, but anything is possible. Is there a chance we're going to see all-you-can-eat in there?
Gravedigger very casually walks up, looks at the door that clearly has the glass casing on it, and boots in the glass. Like as if he puts his foot through it and the glass shatters, at which point alarms start going off all around you. He'll casually shrug and say, "I don't know. You can check if you'd like."
Shit. Looks like it's going to be a speed run then, guys.
He'll casually say as he takes the top hat off and gives you a little bow, he'll say, "Now, the only thing I can tell you is you're going to be going deep into the spirit world where the hell you're going. That's one hell of a portal there."
I'm actually really sorry, Evan. I didn't hear all that. It's kind of
Yeah,
hard.
it's hard to hear you.
I'll
My
say it.
apologies. Background noise is a bitch. He said, "You're going. I don't know where you're going, but I know that you're going to be going deep into the spirit world. It's a bitch. That portal's one hell of a bitch."
Okay. Sam will nod and say, "Fair enough then." Sam will zip up her hoodie. I'm pretty sure the police response time is pretty quick, so let's find this bitch.
Yeah, we might want to leave.
As you turn back to see, Gravedigger is already gone.
Yep. If no one else going in, Sam is going the fuck on in, because, yeah.
Okay, inside.
Ross is going to follow Smurf.
That's fine. Inside, you see a number of long, what they're called decani tables, which are tables that have that they're very low and that are seated via a small couch poof, known as a Shenkow chair, that are very casually just set there. The atmosphere and the ambiance of the room is clearly designed to give a somewhat authentic representation with tatami mats on the floor, etc. There are a number of Hanafuda or kanji scrolls on the wall that read various different things like happiness, joy, excitement, etc. All kind of happy, uplifting things. However, it is not that you're interested in, as you make a V line to the men's room. Hey, Samira, you have to go into a men's room. I think that's going to be the problem for only you.
Oh, man.
The sirens, however, outside are not exactly ingratiating themselves to your current, to any of your current mental stabilities as you push your way into the men's room. It's generally well kept. There are 5 stalls against the wall, 3 urinals. It's all done in white in white tiles that are relatively pleasant to look at. However, as Gravedigger said, find your way to the third stall.
Which they will.
Okay. For those of you who have any spiritual inclinations, as the door is opening, you can almost feel a surge of spiritual energy, particularly anyone who has spirit sight activated. If anyone does, they will notice the fact that the door itself does not exist. Rather, it is a construct that hides and senses for awakened or spirit-based energies, and as it senses these energies, it forms a rift behind the door, a rift that, as you step through, it's as if you are stepping through a gateway. All of you will do so, and eventually, as the walls around you contort and change, make themselves seem different and melt away, turn to ash and re-solidify, you'll be standing up to your knees in water, facing this.
Ooh.
But at least cannot be.
Spirit realm or whatever. Can I roll spirit lore to maybe get a grasp on where the shite we are?
You don't even need to. You're somewhere in the Umbra. Clearly, you've stepped sideways before. You know the feeling. However, you are not in an area of the Umbra you are familiar with. It feels different, but it is still the Umbra.
Are our Vidares active? Do we see what we see in the fundamentally different ways, or are they all the same for the purposes of the scene?
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear the beginning of that statement. So.
I'm sorry. I had asked, are we all seeing this through our specific Vidares?
No, you have physically stepped sideways into the Umbra by stepping through the portal. You are in the Umbra. Okay. That is what is physically facing you.
Okay.
Though, as I said, for any of you who have experienced the Umbra, it doesn't feel like an area of the Umbra that you are uniquely familiar with. Everything seems odd but the same. It's almost as if you've eaten this dish before, but the spices are different.
Can I roll Shadowlands lore to get an idea, or is it just a generic?
You are 100% not in the Shadowlands.
That's fair. Well, like ruling out one place at a time. All right.
Two shadowy figures will appear in front of the posts, in front of the lintel posts. They appear to be just anthropomorphic blobs made of shadows, and they will both bow very politely.
Sam will bow back.
So will
Going
Richard.
to bow back, and because maybe they could see me.
Roros will bow back, not saying a word, but you'll do since this is a Torii gate, you'll do a traditional Japanese bow, which means hands at his sides, inclined, eyes are looking slightly forward, but not forward enough to execute a challenge.
Okay. Both of them will extend their left hand, and made of spirit stuff, made of blackness, made of shadow, will coalesce into a long stick upon which holds a lantern before they will turn around and walk under the arch.
Could I maybe get spirit lore to try to identify what these types of spirits are?
Sure.
To
I'll
make
make
sure
that
that they're
roll
not
too.
tricking us.
Intelligent spirit lore.
6 dice for me. 26. 1 success. Wow.
Okay. They are okay. If everyone wants to roll and then tell me their results all at once, so I can give collective information as opposed to just bits and pieces.
Are they high spirits or not?
They are
What?
not high number spirits now.
What is the roll again? Sorry, didn't catch that.
Intelligent spirit lore.
Oh, well, I don't have spirit lore, so don't worry.
Okay. In that case, with one success, they are some kind of servitor or some kind of shadow servant. They're not actual spirits in and of themselves. They're reflections of something else.
One second. Oh, I got 3 successes, surprisingly. God, I love that merit.
Okay, with 3 successes, these are shadowy servitors that have been summoned specifically to act as greeters. They have no mind in and of themselves. They are merely doing a pre-programmed set of commands and courtesies.
Cool.
As they step onto the archway, they disappear.
I guess Visitor Sailor will follow behind.
Okay. As you guys follow underneath the archway, you are immediately greeted with this. It spreads out before you and above you. The water falls away, drained from existence. You smell mold and you smell shadow. Shadow had a smell, and this decrepit cityscape flares out before your sight.
Where are the lanterns currently?
They are positioned on either side of another gateway that looks like a black version of the gateway you entered through. There is only one other thing of interest. In what you assume is a small tea shop out the front of it, there is a large... It's a rather odd sight as you look at them. There is a large anthropomorphic rabbit with long white ears and white skin, and wearing a katana at his belt, and an anthropomorphic owl of roughly the same height, your height, also wearing a katana on his belt. They are both sipping tea and appearing to be playing mahjong.
My bad, Evan. I did not catch all of that. I got a guy with a katana chilling there.
There's an anthropomorphized rabbit and an anthropomorphic owl, both with katanas on their belts, sitting over in the distance, apparently playing Mahjong.
Hi.
Cool.
Before they walk up, Sam looks amongst the group and says, "All right, motherfuckers, get all the puns out now."
What fund are you referring to? I don't know.
I'll hop to it.
That was your one. All right. Let's do this. Evan, would an intelligence etiquette roll be? Would that be applicable here? Would that be something that could be done? Oh, did he need to step away, or is he just having trouble unmuting?
Probably a combination of the two. I'm going to say, yeah, as AST, yeah, intelligence etiquette roll will work.
Fair. I'm just trying to get for, a good way to approach and deal with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Do you have the spirit lore as well? Because you might need to, for your etiquette to work, know slightly what the hell you're talking to.
That's also
That's fair. Sorry.
I do not have spirit lore. So if that's a no, you can't roll etiquette in this situation.
You can roll at a diff 7 if you don't have spirit lore.
Can I help?
I have spirit lore. Huzzah!
I have spirit lore and etiquette. Can I help?
Let me finish,
Yes.
guys.
If you have spirit lore, it'll be diff 6. If you don't, it'll be diff 7.
And what is the Is it intelligence spirit lore or is it Christmas spirit lore or
etiquette? Intelligence etiquette.
Yeah.
It should differ
Boy.
depending on whether or not you have the.
intelligence?
There we go. That should at least be better for background noise. Sorry, yes, as I was saying.
I'm expending a willpower. I don't botch.
To do what?
Yeah,
3 successes on my intelligence etiquette.
2 successes, diff 8 for me. I don't have spirit lore. I don't have etiquette, but I get 2 and 8 and a 9.
I got 2 as well. To explain, Evan, we are currently rolling etiquette to see the proper way to engage with these people are.
If it helps, they're both looking at you slightly, I would say, one of them looks impatient. The owl looks impatient. The rabbit is smiling.
Okay.
They're about 25 feet away, though, kind of sitting drinking tea.
Who scored 3 successes on the check?
I did.
I did. Correct etiquette would be to approach and bow.
Approaching what?
Approach and bow, but also keep a fair distance until they return the gesture.
Right. I will move to 10 paces from them, which is the amount of respect somebody gives if they are of a lower station than of the person they are approaching. And then I will perform the same bow as before, and then wait for it to be returned.
Fuck it. Gonna follow Roris's lead on it. Hope we don't die.
Yep.
I also got 3 successes.
I follow the leader.
Okay, so we get the group approach to a 10 pace distance and do a traditional Japanese style bow.
Sure, why not? I can do that too.
Okay. Hmm. Well, that's a good start. What do you say for Kurasan? Are these the ones?
I think so, but they smell strange, Usagi-san.
That was to be expected. Well, at the very least, if they aren't the ones are officially too late for us to bother with them, so these ones will have to do.
Good point. Oh, by the way, points to my own board.
Anthony, you're a little low on your voice.
I believe this round is yours.
Yes.
That's what you get for chasing the dragon.
Yes.
Very well, let's speak to them. They give a return somewhat more martial bow. You have the two forms of the martial bow of the closed fist with restraint. Without restraint, they give you the closed fist bow. They don't bow as low as you did to them, though, which is also a denotation of station. And you may approach. We've been expecting a group.
Though we were expecting them, he looks over at a small, what appears to be a small porcelain jar of some sort with a little spout, slowly dripping water, and says, roughly 30 minutes ago, I think. About 30 minutes ago.
Better late than never.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but even when we're told to approach, we should still, with 3 successes on etiquette, stop 5 paces from them.
Correct.
Yeah, Ross will nod. Will return the bow, and he will approach the 3 paces, give another proper bow, and will say, "My apologies on being tardy. It was not an intentional slight on our part."
Well, there's some hope for you after all. Know that some pretty big strings were pulled to arrange a bit of a meeting. If it wasn't for certain requests from some rather dear people to us, we wouldn't be talking. You've come quite a distance, even though you don't realize it. Come, take a seat. We'll need to explain some things before the next stretch of the journey.
Ross will nod and will fold into Caesar. Basically, he just drops into the kneeling Caesar pattern. Because they're appearing Japanese. Did one of them use the book and fist vow, or did they both use Japanese vows?
They using the fist bows.
Okay. At that point, he will go into the lotus position, which is more appropriate for a student of Chinese philosophy when sitting before a master.
You might feel that due to the nature of belief and spirit, you're probably dealing with fairly mixed beings.
That makes sense.
You will note at this point the owl will pull out from his sleeve a long strip of paper. It has clearly got Japanese style writing on it. We'll just start reading through it. Looking up every few seconds as if comparing names.
Very well. If you would like to handle the introductions then for us, Fakura-san.
Just making sure. Don't want to get this wrong.
He would be very disappointed.
I'm not being sent to the bamboo room again. Okay, I think that's them. This is Usagi-sama. He is the honored son of the god of death. I am Fakura-san, guide and advisor to the Shogun of Iron. You are in our Lord's realm.
OOT question. Can y'all put those names in the chat so I can pronounce them correctly?
All right, hold on.
Okay. So
Pretty much. Yeah.
So Sam will respond with, "You honor us with your introductions and your presence, Usagi-sama and Koro-sama. Even though your lord is not here, we would like to offer our thanks to him for allowing us to be here."
You will be going to meet him soon enough. Like I said, some rather important strings were pulled and favors called. Some people rather care about the place that you come from. We're here to prep you, so you do not offend our Lord and walk away empty-handed. By all means, we wish for you to succeed.
Well,
You honor us, Elder Samas, by giving us your name and your Lord's name. And I greatly appreciate the teachings that you will bestow upon us.
Well, Vikura-san, where do you think we should begin?
I know what to do. And he reaches over and he picks up a small box containing some of the Mayong pieces. Places it down in front of him and puts down one piece in front of each of you and then sits back.
What does my piece have on it?
Just a generic Mayong piece.
Is it waves, bamboo?
Whichever you prefer. It's just the generic Mayong piece. There's nothing special.
Let's go with bamboo. Off work on them is always nice.
At this point, you will start to hear very heavy footfalls, but they appear to be some ways off.
Oh dear, it looks like we had less time than we thought.
Richard dies. Not again.
I was hoping they would learn faster than this.
Very well, we're going to have to do this a bit at my speed. First of all of you stand up straight as you possibly can. I'm going to go and walk around you, and I'm going to tell you some things, and you're going to be paying attention. First of all, when you greet him, clap twice, bow 3 times, clap a final time. This is important. The 2 claps denote your joy of greeting him. The 3 bows are your levels of respect for them. The final clap is the one that opens the table to talk. If he gives you a respond gesture, then you may respond. You will speak when spoken to. Do not interrupt. Do not speak out of turn. Do not make the mistake that we have been nice. He will not be. He is not kind. We have still made a bargain. You get 1 free 1. Unless you wish to make a deal with me, in which case you'll get 3. But I will take something from you each time.
Oh, one more thing I've just recalled. Vital important. Right. He stands up and he says, "Let's just fix one little thing." On the 3rd clap, any active effects you currently have vanish. In this place, what you call magic is not permitted. If you cast any of your effects here, you will be marked by us. Do it twice and you will die.
You're cutting out.
Perform magic twice without permission and you will be killed. Likewise, you need to earn permission.
And he's just erased, just deactivated any active effects you had when you got here.
Oh, ready.
Which Rora saw coming, so you didn't have anything up anyway.
Yeah.
Same.
Now to
Well,
you, Now, to you, his correct honorific will be Sama. Don't forget to use it. It will be an offense if you do not use it. To us, his honorific is Dono. We do not forget to use it. But do not attempt to copy us. Now he's getting closer.
One quick question. If we have a question for you, would it be appropriate for Sensei, since you have taught us this day?
You may address me as you require me. As the somewhat master of this ceremonial greeting, I'm somewhat outside the bounds of the usual etiquette rule, as I'm here to ensure that this meeting functions.
When you said take something, what did you mean by that?
Depends what I want. That's if you think you might fail 3 times. Might be a finger, might be an eye, might be a tooth.
Might be your heart, to be fair.
Usually we save that one for last.
At this point, coming into view down the street, you will see 6 individuals dressed in iron Hazimo armor, which is how you would view the traditional samurai armor, with kabuto helmets on their heads. They are striding in perfect lockstep. You will notice that their skin has an iron-ish gray tinge. Their leader has a much more ornate headdress that has a fleck of gold that goes up in long Mizumoto horns that flank either side of his face. As he approaches, he will bow deeply to Asagi, and he will bow deeply to Kuro, and he will say in a clipped, measured voice, Usagi Dono, or Usagi-sama, are these the individuals who are to be taken to the castle to meet the Shogun?
Yes, you are correct in your assessment.
Have they been duly informed?
We have done our best, and we shall continue along the way. We do not wish to keep our lord waiting.
Hey, he will look at each one of you in turn. You will notice his eyes seem to weep an ironish liquid as he looks at each one of you until he is done, and he blinks and the liquid disappears, and he says, "You may enter the presence of our Lord. However, I will give you one warning, and one warning only, Gaijin. You will surrender now, here, all weapons that you may possess. These are to be given immediately and will not be returned. They will be destroyed. Bringing weapons into this place is already in and of itself a violation. However, if you wish to pay the..." He contemplates his next word for a moment, and he says, "stipend, to be considered members of the honorable samurai caste, a visiting dignitary, you may keep your weapons. But that is up to you. Saigo Namaska."
Roros will pull his laptop off his back and hand it over. He will then follow suit with the coins in his pocket.
Okay. They will take them. He'll kind of look at the laptop like this is sorcery for a moment before he will shrug and throw it over his shoulder, at which point one of the others will instantly, a hand will be raised to catch it.
Evan, Maximilian takes off his necklace that he has created with the seashell and the Vive of Agwe, and he will hand it over respectfully.
He will immediately raise his hand and he will say that, "I only require what you consider to be weapons. Do you consider this a weapon?"
Yes, sir. It allows me to speak and do things with spirits.
He will casually shrug and he will take it and throw it over his shoulder. Again, another one of the guards will catch it.
How many guards did it take to catch all my coins? Just out of curiosity. Because he literally handed over a handful of discs about that big.
and yet one guard with one hand just keeps throwing his hand out and one after the next.
Them reflexes, boy.
Damn, get it. Sam will produce her knife, and basically hold it out while bowing to the dude.
I will put out, he hasn't given a name or a title or anything. He will take the knife and he'll flick it between his fingers, at which point he will throw it over his shoulder. And another, it's that rather amusing thing if he throws it point first at one of the men's faces, but about a millimeter before it impacts, he grabs it by the handle and flicks it down. But that's fine.
That was the normal knife, not the wonder knife.
I was going to say, do you have the wonder knife on you?
No.
Excellent.
Sadly, though, because I did not see this coming, Richard does, and he will look at the speaker and then again bow politely and say, "May I ask a question?" And he would insert the proper honorific. What is the price you require us to pay in the event we would seek permission to retain the weapon?
Are you saying that you are samurai?
He looks at him. Fuck! I need to choose my words carefully now. I would be. I would. This knife. He does produce the knife and shows it to him. This knife is very. This weapon is very precious to me. Insert honorific here.
It does not answer my question.
He sighs and shakes his head. I am not traditionally a warrior. No.
He will raise his fingers again. He will say, "That is twice you." He will quirk his head and he will look at Asagi completely. The look of confusion is genuinely real, and he says, he thinks that samurai is a warrior.
I don't think he was educated correctly in the world that he came from. There's much more to that.
He looks at the men. I consider myself a man of honor. Insert honorific here. That is why I.
You can actually see Fukuro rubbing his eyes.
A samurai is a servant to his people and to his lord above all else. Do you serve?
I believe that I serve my people, yes.
He will contemplate that for a moment, at which point he will raise his hand and he will say, "What is your name?"
My name is Richard Kennings. Insert honorific here.
In that case, on behalf of the Shogun of Iron, I welcome you, Kennings-san. And he will give a small bow.
Richard will bow back in the same manner.
So he will extend his hand and gesture. These are your heimin, hey?
He looks at Heyman. He looks apologetic. He does not know the term.
The lower class. Your servants, your blacksmiths.
Sketch soldier just takes a step forward and waits to be spoken to.
Yeah, Sketch snorts and walks forward as well.
Guys, one at a time. Okay. As you step forward in what appears to be a hostile fashion, you will hear
guys.
You will hear 6 as katanas are half drawn.
Boris will bow his.
I was actually trying to say he bows slowly.
Guys, hang on.
One at a
time. Guys, one at a time. Okay, because people are talking over each other and it's a bit crazy. So what we're going to do in this situation, because there are so many of us, is Brett, you spoke first. You may go first. Then Grog, you can speak when he is done. Sorry, wanted to get that done. Continue.
Loris will bow low as appropriate Forgive me, Sama. But if your estimation of me giving up my weaponry is that I am not fit enough to be on my own and must kowtow to that thing, he's going to motion to Kennings, then I have apparently given you the wrong impression.
Has my servant here caused offense by assuming that you are this one's servant?
At that point, Ross will say, no, it is not his offense that I take issue with. It is the one that Mr. Kennings has given by claiming to be my superior.
I have made no such claim, Pritchett says.
He has... The being will raise his hand for silence, and he will say, you must decide in this realm in which you walk, if you walk it as a master or a servant, if you walk it as one who serves a higher purpose, or one who themselves is led by those who serve. That is for you to decide. There is only one of you who has been given special dispensation by my lord himself. He will reach into the folds of his robe, and he will withdraw a scroll case or a sealed scroll that has a large jade green seal on it that bears the symbol of a dragon rearing its head. At which point he will walk to the crowd and he will bow deeply and he will present it to Rory. And he will say, your father is known, your lineage unquestioned. Summer.
Rory bows. He with both hands, he politely accepts the.
I would
jade
advise you now that you're being given a gift. It is impolite to accept the gift the first time. It is impolite to accept the gift the second time.
Except only on the third offering.
Okay.
He appears to stop, waiting for your response.
Yeah, I'm out of character, kind of confused right now. But
have you never heard of the Japanese game of refusals?
No.
Okay. What they've explained is before, because they have explained it, so I'm just going to go over it quickly so we can continue on. Basically, in Japan, it is a tradition that you should never accept a gift when it's offered first. You need to refuse it, and then on the third offer, you need to accept it, as it shows humility.
Kind of like saying, forgive me, I'm unworthy. Please, I am unworthy. Okay. Well, if you insist.
Gotcha. I thank you for this, but I am not yet worthy.
It has been decreed, and it is my honor to present. And he will offer again.
You are a credit to your household and your lineage, but again, I cannot accept this honor, for I am unworthy.
As the nightingale sings sweetly, the music is true. So too are your words honorable, and so I must ask you to accept a gift given in honor.
I gratefully accept to avoid causing dishonor to your great master.
He will hand you the scroll. Okay. As he hands you, As he hands you the scroll, what happens is it's quite interesting. The scroll turns into a snake and slithers up your arm until it clasps around your neck, at which point it turns into a chain, a golden chain, upon which a large jade medallion that was at one point the seal now hangs around your neck. But he will then bow respectfully before returning to the head of the party, and he will say, if that is the case, honored Dozoke, am I to respectfully ascertain that you wish to all be treated as samurai and representatives of your given lord?
I think I was next, Evan.
Yes,
he
you
continues
are
to
next.
bow, and he says, Sama, I am ridden of Ogwe, priest and follower of his great protectorate. I am his man always and forever, as he has ridden me and given me my powers.
You are a holy man.
Yes, sir, I am a holy man. Or yes, Sama, sensei. Bleh. Have etiquette. I didn't mess up.
He will say, your words have been heard. During the time of your visitation, honored Samurai Sama, or honored Samurai Son, you are to consider yourselves our Lord's guests. You are to consider yourself visiting samurai and are responsible for what that entails. He will turn on his heel very abruptly and he will say, how your weapons, he will gesture over his shoulder, at which point all that was taken will be returned to you. Will be returned. However, we have kept my lord long enough. We must away to his castle immediately.
Point of order, Evan. I'm saying that I'm a monk or a holy man. Wouldn't he address me differently than samurai?
It depends. Oh, if you want to be considered a monk, that's okay. He will refer
Damn it.
There are different rules.
He will refer to you as sensei in that case because that is the correct term for a monk.
That's going to be real. All right, now before we go any further, how about when he says you're going to be responsible samurai and all that entails? Can we get a roll to know what that entails?
Yes.
That is a good.
You may make an intelligence etiquette roll, difficulty, depending on your cultural background, either standard difficulty or difficulty 7.
What about for Dubai?
Nah, Dubai is not East Asia, dear.
Okay, sorry, question. First of all, the effects we had up, if we had any, are now gone, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got 2 on my roll.
So basically, if we are Asian or have another reason, it's to know it, it's diff 6. If not,
Yep.
it's diff 7.
Yep.
Okay.
Sam is Indian.
That works actually. The Indian is actually surprisingly close.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Indians have a similar caste system, so I'll give it to you.
Yep, her surname actually denotes a higher station, which is ironic.
Which one's that? Something interesting.
Satria. Well, her surname is Katri.
Which
Wait,
one?
what's the surname?
Kaltri.
Is Katri, which is
Oh, yes.
the Satria cast.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a warrior cast.
Okay, I'm just waiting for people. If you want to just post your results in the chat, and then I will be right with you.
Yep.
Oh, also, one more thing, guys. As we're all having this conversation, you will hear a flapping of wings, see a bird fly overhead. Anyone looks around, Kokoro-san is gone. He's flown off to deliver word of your coming.
Oh, that was almost something that we forgot. If anyone should be scrying on this group of individuals, know that I'm paying attention and I will find you.
Justin, interestingly enough, someone was scrying on this group of individuals. However, when you say that, they stop.
Consider yourselves able to act freely.
2 successes, Evan.
Okay, so with 1 success, It's complicated. You're above certain people and below certain people, and expected to follow Bushido, but you're not exactly sure what Bushido is. With 2 successes, there are 7 tenets of Bushido. Some of them, like honesty is one of them. You think courage and duty are some of them, but then again, it's a little bit, it's hazy. And somebody got 3 successes, didn't they?
Marked.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, in which case I have to give you the list of Bushido. Yay!
There's actually
It is.
8, by the way.
By the way, I need to quickly disappear for a second. I'll be right back. But just something to think about. You probably also want a gift for the Lord.
Sam, by the way, there are definitely 7 virtues of Bushido. I can even name them off the top of my head. There's compassion, courage, courtesy, duty, honesty, honor, sincerity.
I always had the justice, courage, mercy, not mercy, but I can't remember the translate. It doesn't translate exactly. Politeness, honesty. It's not compassion. It's definitely not compassion. Honesty, honor, loyalty, and character /
So, what exactly does Richard know?
There are different interpretations of Bushido because there are also different Bushidos depending on different times in the Empire. I go by what is considered to be the traditional Sengoku period Bushido, which was penned by Miyamoto Musashi in the Book of the Five Rings, which is compassion, courage, courtesy, duty, honesty, honor, and sincerity.
Very cool.
Japanese language is also really, really complex. Like, depending on the context of the word that you use in a sentence, it can take on radically different meanings.
Oh, okay.
So, compassion, courage, duty, honesty.
I'll read them out one more time. Or rather, I'll say them out one more time. Compassion, courage, courtesy, duty, honesty, honor, sincerity.
Courtesy, honor.
Evan, with 2 successes, what would I know that I'm supposed to act like? Because I'm not.
Yeah, that's 2.
Because I'm supposed to be acting like a monk.
You're meant to talk to the kami. What the fuck are the kami?
It's spirits.
The spirits, they're all around us.
Actually, I even knew that in character.
Yeah.
You know what in character?
I only knew the no, it's irrelevant. But the kami thing, because another PC was talking about it at length for a while.
I was gonna say, you know how there's like one Japanese PC in the form of Jewel? Wouldn't it have been really lucky if she were here? Like really lucky.
For real though, roll all the shit F4 and shit.
Yep. I wouldn't even make her roll for most of this.
She grew up in a monastery too.
Yeah, she did. Okay, so the samurai turn on their heel and start to march in perfect lockstep off. You see the large building denoted in my picture rise up above you. Also, you start to hear the beating as you march of huafugi drums, which, if you don't know what they are large drums about the size of a person that are beaten on 2 sides by 2 different drummers. They're generally used in order to keep rhythmic pace during battle. However, as you enter, the 2 great gates that face you have a large iron metallic dragon that is impinged upon them, that has been sculpted into the hard black wood. And as you arrive, you almost see the dragon blink before the door itself parts at the center, opening wide. You will be led into a central courtyard complex. That is basically a perfect square, in which you find a Zen garden or a rock garden, which have a number of large rocks jetting out of the ground and a number of men standing in the center, rhythmically moving long rake-like sticks through the sand to create wave patterns. You will see. You will see Fakuro-san making his way down a large set of steps on the opposite side of the Zen garden. Once again, assuming his human form, the doors to the great edifice of the castle proper will swing closed behind him. He has come to tell you that your meeting is set.
After a few moments, he will walk up to you. He will bow. He's a lot closer to you than you originally got to him. He seems to wait.
The User Sailor will bow back to him.
Oh, wait, I
His
can
eyes
question.
flick from one to the other of you.
Yep, sketch bows back.
The same.
Rose will appropriately bow.
Yep, Sam will bow. Well, before she does, this is not the Lord, is it?
No, this
No,
is
it's
Makurus, the
Makurus.
owl again.
He's returned
Okay.
to you.
I just wanted to make sure because I have the clapping thing written down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Waiting for that too.
I have two, and I'm glad because otherwise I would have forgotten by now.
I choose to point out, hi, Tim. This is how you play like court L5R. How do you feel?
Yeah, it is. That's what I was thinking. I was like, good thing I was playing that shit.
Yep. So yes, Gorazan will say, our Lord is prepared, and it would seem you are as prepared as you can be.
I think they've forgotten something. I don't think whoever arranged the meeting for them told them to bring a gift.
Actually, this is not me speaking, but in character. But I actually did bring a gift.
Sketch has his own talent that he's going to use as a gift, so Sketch just nods.
I will point out, and Usagi can. This is also because we don't want to get bogged down for another 45 minutes. You will be expected to present one gift on behalf of the group. So kind of assemble what you wish to give, and bear in mind, for those of you who got many successes on the etiquette roll to determine what a samurai was, they don't necessarily value things that have material wealth as much as they value things that might be considered beautiful or graceful or unique. It is not necessarily a massive, like, for example, a perfect origami crane or a beautiful cherry blossom would be just as valuable as giving $1 million.
Sketch
One-
Evan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm supposed to give him a riddle or something, right? As a monk.
Yeah, you're a monk. You're not meant to have any material wealth.
While you guys are debating, the owl will just pull a teacup out of his sleeve, still steaming. You have no idea where the hell he got it from.
Sorry, Evan, I have a question because
Mhm.
It's been a while since I read the Book of Five Rings.
Yep. It was on my school curriculum. Continue.
I read. Well, you've seen the copies I have. I actually have. I think I have two different translations. I remember the samurai are supposed to be cultured. Is it appropriate? I know poetry was a big thing. Is it appropriate? Is music considered acceptable as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like it's not something beneath the station if it's proper high culture.
No, absolutely. Music was quite commonly given as a high society gift. It was considered to be. It also depends on the content of the music, of course. Like if you start singing him a ballad about, I once knew a girl from Nantucket or some shit.
Yes. No, I have an appropriate one.
I have a haiku. Okay. Hold on. I need to.
I also have a haiku. I'll wait until.
Well, actually, with his academics, Richard might actually know a haiku off the top of his head, I assume.
I've got one off the top of my head.
So do I, but I'm weird and Asian like that. I think in haiku.
Rory looks to the others. If you would be so generous as to permit me the honor of presenting a gift to the Lord, I believe I have brought something appropriate.
Sketches just say, I can do the traditional markings of his people on him as well. I know those techniques.
Royce is going to hold up his skateboard. Do you think this would be impressive enough?
No. Sketches to say very bluntly, like staring at him quite hard, like no.
For the
I
record,
come.
guys, you hear just around you, because it's kind of important, almost as if carried on the wind, you hear this sound. Continue.
Is it feminine or is it gravedigger or is it both?
It's not Gravedigger. It sounds like laughter, though.
Okay. May I? Sorry, go ahead.
Kansama, I come with wisdom and a haiku that I have written myself for you.
Well, we'll get to it in time. Now, shall we get head on? I don't want to have to be the death god that says tick-tock, but tick-tock.
That does raise a question of why do our clocks tick, Usagi?
Because we enjoyed clockwork when it was being developed. And to be perfectly honest, I find it quite relaxing.
On a side note, okay, so sorry, continue, Anthony.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I really must get back to my paperwork. I hope you don't mind, any of you. And then he looks to Usagi and says, I will speak to Tanuki-san and have the guard doubled, just in case. With a deep bow, you see him take 2 steps backward, jump into the air, like a small jump, instantly turns into an owl, flies away.
On a side note, by the way, guys, as he turns around for a split second, on his back, which was 100% not there before, you see a kanji, literally in white ink, on his back, that has in italics, in English, the phrase jackass.
On whose back is this, Evan?
On the back of Faruko. He doesn't see it.
Someone's gonna die. To tell him or not to tell him?
And I will point out, Anthony, absolutely no magic occurred.
Excuse me, Roko-sama.
You almost hear carried on the wind.
Hold on. Someone just shouted out for Kuro's name. So,
yes.
But Kuro-sama, there is something on your back.
You'll see the bird land. You'll see him turn back into a human. He will look over his own shoulder.
You can turn your head around. You're an owl.
Good point. You'll see his neck sort of shift a little, and then his head turns fully. He looks down.
There is the kanji for jackass on your back.
Looks back up, head turns around, neck shifts a little. You hear him shout out in what sounds like Japanese, but is very different. Like it's weirdly non-Japanesey. And then he turns back into a bird and flies up into the castle. And he looks, even for a bird, irritated.
Ooh, that's going to come back on somebody.
Okay, so the great doors of the central keep part open, and you see yourself in a lavish throne or reception room. You see the fact that there is music currently being played on. Are any of you familiar with what a guzhin is?
Yes.
It's a Japanese guitar.
Okay.
No, it's not actually. A guzhin is it's kind of a guitar. It's laid on
a string
flat,
instrument.
and
Yeah, it's a
played
stringed
with-
instrument.
Yeah, that's okay. It's fair. It was very famous for being used to entertain the nobility at the Chinese court. But it's plucking out a melody. You see beings of all imaginings here. You see frogs wearing armor, and you see badgers running around wearing kimono. It appears to be entirely chaotic and yet entirely ordered and based. People are presenting scrolls to one another and bowing. You see a woman who nods her head, turns around to present somebody a leaflet, and you see the fact that she has 6 arms that jut each one from a socket that is located on her elbow. It's rather disconcerting, however, it is. And high above it all, seated on a raised dais that is about 25 steps up, looking down on you, you see this figure. As you enter, the room falls entirely silent.
I believe it's 15 steps. I got 3 successes in etiquette when I approach him.
15 steps. Then
I
you
believe it
begin
was.
your- yes, it's 15 steps, and then you give your abasement, all of you.
The abasement is the thing we were told to do earlier.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes,
Yep.
clap, clap, bow, 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 clap.
Correct.
Yes, I wrote it down.
I did too.
So did I, just to be sure.
I think everyone wrote it down, in all honesty. It sounded like an important thing to remember.
So it was 3 claps and 1 bow.
Two
So
claps, 3 bows, 1 clap.
Very, very, very gently, you will see this man's hand raised. You notice the fact all the fingernails are black and the fingernails themselves have been sharpened to points. As with one finger, he gestures, almost as a come hither, kind of like a momentary.
Next is 5 steps, and we wait to see if he asks us to come closer.
Our Lord has given you the honor of advancing 5 steps. Do so now.
5 steps.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Step, 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 step.
He will, after you've done the bows and the abasements, he will. No, thank you. Actually, yes, I will do. He will very casually look down, quirk his head to the side. He will not address you. He will look at Usagi and he will say, Usagi-san, are these the interlopers?
The ones that we're expected, my lord.
I am, and this time he looks down at you. I am the Shogun of Iron. I am manifest will of the august personage of Jade, and he who guards the celestial treasure vault of he who sits most on high neath. And he who guards the celestial treasure vault of he who sits most on high neath heaven. You have come here in order to steal from me. Well, in a manner of speaking. You wish to complete the challenges to open my vault in order to liberate something from me. Hey? He phrases that as an open-ended question.
Damn it. As the monk, I think I'm supposed to speak now. He bows very low as one far beneath the august personage before him, and says, "We were sent on a mission. Insert honorific here. And thus we have come before your personage in order to, as you say, liberate an item for use and then return it to you."
When the august personage entrusted me to guard his treasure chamber, he did give me permissions to open it to those who prove themselves to be just and loyal, to embody those edicts that he prized. So, if you are willing to take the tests of the 5, and if you pass, then yes, you may enter his treasure vault and possibly reclaim what it is you seek.
You do us great honor, insert honorific here, for allowing us to attempt this test. And we have brought gifts to you so that we may show our dedication to doing this.
He will remove. He'll leave his hand down. At which point, a servant will immediately run up, knock himself onto the ground in full Sakuriyama, which is the really low bow where you press your head to the ground, and a tray will be placed on his back, upon which a tiny cup of tea will be placed. As the Lord will very calmly pick up the tea with 2 fingers, inhale deeply, and take a sip before replacing it on the back of his servant. And he will say, "I am honored to accept your gift." Who is it who wishes to present it to me?
Okay. Out of character, did we agree on that earlier?
No, we didn't, because 3 people made offerings.
Yeah, so he turns, takes a step forward, turns, approaches in front of Rory, bows to him, takes a step back, and motions him forward, and then goes back to his spot.
Rory, okay, what is the correct etiquette here? Do I bow now and approach, or?
Bow
we have-
and present the gift to myself. I will inspect the gift for my lord, and if it is deemed worthy of him, I will bring it to him.
In the spirit, I forget the name of the guy I'm actually speaking to, but insert
That's
name.
Usagi-sama.
Sama.
Usagi.
Usagi-sama. In the spirit, in the spirit of the ideal of the cultured warrior, which is exemplified by the renowned servitors, and most of all, the legendary lord of this court. I offer a song.
Do you require an instrument to play it?
He actually has a guitar on his back. So let me just pull up the song.
My most honored lord, he brings you the gift of music.
Should this be lacking, his voice will be forfeit. You may sing.
Let me just roll this. Spending willpower, obviously. Uh, 5 successes.
All right. What is the topic that you're singing about? If you had to sum up the song in a sentence.
It's Umiyakaba.
Oh, excellent. Something I know.
Yeah.
You will see his eyes.
Go ahead.
You will see his eyes slightly narrowing. You're not sure if it's out of pleasure for listening or displeasure, which is slightly disconcerting. He will allow you to sing right to the end, and then he will contemplate for a moment, and he will say, "It is my assertion, my command, that you shall be named Nightingale from now on. Usagi-san, have it written, have it done."
So it is said, and so it shall be, my lord. Nightingale's son, I hope you approve of your new name. It is quite a gift to receive.
I am honored.
He will say from his high seat, so, you may attempt my challenges. You have conducted yourself with honor, and that is a rare thing these days. He will very...
I was actually waiting in a position to be told to present the next person with their gift. Actually, Evan.
I said that he only wanted one gift.
Yeah, we were doing a gift from the group, like we said before.
Okay, I didn't hear that part.
Though haiku might well be an important part of one of the tasks you have to do, I cannot possibly comment. All right. He will very casually wave his hand dismissively, as in just kind of a shoo.
Come along now.
That is 1 step back, bow, 2 steps back, bow twice, 3 steps back, bow 3 times before walking slowly backwards the prerequisite steps before, so that we do not turn on the august personage.
Very good. I just lost a bet.
You will see a tiny scorpion very casually walk out of Asagi's pocket with what appears to be a jade coin in its pincers.
That's awesome. I love that.
Back you go, Pinchy-chan. Back you go.
And because some of you have guessed it, I will tell you. If you actually read into the Hessian, there were lords of each element who were themselves lords of each one of the houses. And yes, this is the Lord of Iron, the Lord of the element of Iron.
Nice. I am so glad no one botched their etiquette. Oh god.
Yeah, no, if we fucked up, that dude would have just been like, no.
All right, so, with that in mind, Usagi will lead you down several back passages through several screened doors until you will come to stand in front of a door outside of which there are 2 frogs, once again in full armor, wearing the Kabuto helmets, who will cross their long Yari spears in front of the door, and one of them will say, "Who goes there?"
I go here.
Yeah. Are these those who were sent down to take the challenge of Lord Usagi?
Yes, you've been informed of their specifics. I trust you'll make sure that they are looked after.
Yes, sir. He will very casually push the door open behind you. Coincidentally, as he does so, you will hear once again, at which point the lower layer of his kimono and his akama will split right down the middle, right at his backside.
I will, being the monk, avert my eyes and quickly remove my coat to present it to the samurai sensei so that he does not lose face as I am not looking at it.
Eyes averted as well.
The frog freezes in what can only be determined as a "oh no, not again" moment.
Yeah.
However, inside the room, you will find yourself standing in a large oval chamber with another set of screen doors on the other side. The only thing interesting in the room is there is a large mirror that stands facing you. However, the mirror itself is entirely black instead of having clear glass, and it just appears to loom over you. The frog will say, with a gigantic blushing red cheek on his face, "This is the test of Jet. It's one of you will have to look into the deepest, most elements of yourself and not, spontaneously implode."
I'm here for them if they do.
Ross is going to look at the group and say, does anybody mind if I try this?
I would advise that you allow me to think about this one first.
You may take the time that you need.
All right, can I do an esoteric roll? Intelligence.
Yes,
All right.
Few people walk away from this one if they walked into it unprepared.
56.
Yeah, it's difficult to 6.
4 successes.
Well, it's a mirror, and he said something about facing yourself or facing your innermost self. So maybe something to do with your fears, showing you something you really don't want to see about yourself.
Mara will look to the group. You will have to face some things that you fear. Perhaps it would be best for this one to be faced by someone who does not experience fear, or is able to better manage it.
So not me.
And fear is a sin, but it is a requirement of courage. Good luck.
Justin, I just had to ask, was I presented a straw hat and a cup and a staff?
You know what? Now you have.
Yeah.
You've been playing up the monk role, you may have these items.
Sweet.
I do not believe there is anyone that does not truly have something to fear. However, there are 2 ways to interpret fear. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The question is better asked, who among us will face everything and rise?
Sketch just goes, fuck it. And just walks towards the mirror.
Oh, well. Hi, Sketch.
Fuck
Here
it.
we go.
Yep. Fuck it.
Hi, Sketch. I have to pull up your sheet for a second because I knew what you were getting.
Go for it.
I'm not gonna lie, literally any of you are a better choice for this than Samira.
Okay, this is going to be really simple.
Well, it would have been interesting. Sorry, carry on.
I'm not going to make this a role thing. Some of them will have roles involved. This particular one won't. I want you to just respond as your character would respond. And if your character can respond with being balls to the wall brave, then so be it. If your character responds in a more negative way, I would rather you be honest and role play the experience. Does that make sense?
No, that's legit.
Okay. Have to get a name.
And given my character, I could probably do it.
I mean, anything is possible.
Is every one of us doing each one of the challenges?
No.
Okay. Just so I'm clear. So like one person is doing this challenge right now, and that's
Correct.
good for that. Okay.
Okay. Hi, Sketch.
Hey.
The room itself, as you look into the mirror, melts around you. It becomes like a dream, like the shadow from a dream. Sketch, you're not standing in an Asian castle anymore. No. Let's try to close it. You're standing in a bathroom, just an average bathroom. Your bathroom, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Except the thing that immediately strikes you, you know how vomit has that really acrid smell?
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Sketch. You see, curled around the toilet, her eyes completely panes of glass. That glossy appearance that you get. You know that feeling of that moment when the soul has left the body, with vomit caked around her lips. You see Anna. Her eyes lifeless. And you just see written on the wall in her own blood that even now is still free flowing from her wrists. You did this, Sketch. And you believe it.
Sketch has his knife on him the whole time, and he'll slowly draw the blade and press it right into his hand to the point where I would take 1 lethal.
Okay.
And his eyes will close, and he'll stand there as the blade goes further and further to the point where it comes out of his hand, the other side of the top part of his hand. And he just closes his eyes and he just nods, going, "I did." and then opens them again, still shaking, still hovering, but standing perfectly still. Blood drips down. His face seems to shake, but he stands stoically still. He doesn't. And then when his eyes open, he just stares at it and keeps staring at it. And as the hand just digs in and in and in to the point where I would take 2 lethal.
Okay.
And then he just stares.
From your guys' perspective, you see Sketch draw a knife and plunge it through his hand. Literally, right up to the hilt through his hand. As he stands in front of the mirror. You see him scream from the real world perspective, or the world that you are standing in's perspective. You see him scream, yet no sound emerges from his lips. Until Sketch, you see the body start to disjointedly rise, the blood still flowing from the lips, the vomit still dripping from the mouth. And she looks at you with those large, beautiful eyes, and she just says, "Why?"
Because I'm awakened. And everyone dies when we're awakened.
So you make everyone suffer just because you have to be special.
No. I tried to give you life, but I failed that.
So I guess that the levels of impossibility really are leveled off by the possible. You can't do everything you thought you could.
Yeah. At least I made you smile a few times, at least. You say as the hand just doesn't move and starts to shake as the knife is still pressed in.
Blood is flowing freely because if you could actually pierce straight through your hand.
Oh yeah. No, he just keeps staring. It's almost like the pain is making him focus and forcing him to look at it.
She will wipe the vomit away, however, leaving her lips bloody. And she will lean in and she will kiss Sketch's forehead. And Sketch, at that point, the world will re-solidify around you. You'll be standing right back where you were, and there's a knife in your hand.
Yep. His eyes will close as he just goes and pulls it out, still shaking as he just closes his eyes away from the mirror. And just will like tear off a part of his clothing and just wrap it around the knife. Just still not altogether there, really.
On a side note, as he turns, guys, you will notice the fact that there is a bloody lip print on his forehead.
Excuse me, Sensei. Would it be unbecoming to heal him with magic?
I will handle it. Asagi approaches. He gives this one some time to collect himself. You can see a little hand gesture, and the blood flows up from the wound, from the ground, from wherever it's spilt, until it forms a small orb, a pearl. The blood continues to flow into it. As you can see, the wound where the knife is forcing itself out, probably even against your will to be having it there, as the wound is slowly forcing itself closed. And the knife pops out, and your point is just at the top there, but not piercing your skin at the moment. You have this pearl of blood now, probably about the size of a golf ball, floating before you. You should take that with you.
Just nod and just grab the pearl and slide it into his pocket.
We usually get most of our failures on the first test, so well done. It's quite a personal one, so I don't expect you to make explanations. But no, you're still alive, and that means something.
Nod. Doesn't really say anything to the group, just leans back against one of the walls.
Well, I honestly thought that he'd die.
Well, shall we head on to the next one? Let's keep this swift.
Okay. The next door will open for you. And rather than finding yourself in a room this time, you find yourself in a garden. A beautiful garden that stretches as far as the eye can see. And seated in full seiza You see an elderly man who appears to be contemplating. He's meditating, you would say. You're not exactly sure the subject he's meditating on, but he is meditating. And he says, as you enter, I contemplate the perfect cherry blossom.
Evan, will you shoot me if I say the finishing statement to that? Because it was put in that awful movie with Tom Cruise.
It's not a statement that needs an answer. It's just a statement he made.
Rory looks at the cherry blossom. He likes gardening himself. Out of character question: Is it in fact a perfect blossom?
There are no. He is seated in front of a cherry blossom tree, but there are no real perfect blossoms. He will, however, say, "Cherry blossoms caught on the breeze, little pink snowdrifts."
Sounds like an enigma's role would be in order.
If you want.
All right, why not?
Yep. Wits or intelligence enigmas?
2 successes.
What he just said was a haiku.
Well, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more detail than that, but that's fine.
You've really got no context.
It's a fairly classical haiku.
It is a fairly classical haiku. And he sees him from the cherry blossom tree.
Bakura always hated this one.
Out of character for someone more intelligent than my character, this may be the haiku challenge.
And as the one with the highest, probably the highest intelligence here, I would like to make an intelligence enigmas as well.
Okay.
3 successes.
It's an old haiku.
Turning to the sensei, he bows slowly. Is our next challenge a haiku poetry challenge?
Could be. Unfortunately, due to the nature of this challenge, I'm not allowed to give too much away. Have fun. Test yourselves.
Test ourselves. Okay. 1 second while I make this 575.
Richard will take a deep breath and he will slowly approach with in a respectful manner, keeping a respectful distance. And he sits. When he gets to that respectful distance, he will sit down and wait until the other one realizes he is there.
The old man will look at Usagi and he will say, "Cherry festival. Fuji feels many footsteps. Its rabbits grow shy."
Mara, for her part, she will follow Kenning's example and do exactly the same. She'll be sitting next to Kenning's, should I say.
He will look at you and he will say, he will nod his head very politely and he will say, "Our tongues losing words beneath the silent fall of blossoms."
Richard will clear his throat and again do a polite bow as you would to someone of his status and says, "Knowledge I now seek, of things seen and hidden well, till my final day."
Your life. How much more of it remains? The night is brief.
She stands still, on petals under petals, hands held out.
Also out of character
Mhm.
for the more educated mind. If anyone has the expressions talent, this is the time to use it.
I
Well,
actually
there's
have
a
a
few
shit,
haikus, which I did want to use. I just needed to find where.
I actually have a
Yeah.
shitload of expression. Can I, instead of having to come up with haiku on the fly, can I do intelligence or wits expression?
I myself would like to do a haiku on the fly.
Yes, you may do a haiku on the fly.
I would
Okay.
like to hear a haiku on the fly.
Okay.
You just heard one, by the way.
Okay. Within the cold throat, death's flower, a frozen maid, she blooms in fire.
Hmm.
That's actually pretty good.
He will reach up very casually, and a single cherry blossom will fall from the tree into his hand, and he will present it to Mara.
And Mara, taking the example of all the Japanese themes that's been going on here and everything that was said to Rory, she will say, I thank you, but you are too kind, and I am not worthy of this gift from you. Honored. Insert honorific here.
Actually, here's a point. You're not sure what his honorific is, because he's not dressed very finely. He could just be a gardener, so you genuinely have no idea what his honorific is.
Okay, well, insert honorific here nonetheless, because that's a meme that we're using today.
Okay. He won't say anything, but he'll gesture to take it again.
Again, I thank you. But I do not think that I am worthy of such a gift, a generous gift from you.
And then one last time, he will gesture to take it.
And this time she will bow her head and take it with both hands,
Mhm.
Thank you.
And he will say, the wind is changing. Jade's task complete. A new dawn. As he will very casually move his hand, you will see a doorway, another Shiamai doorway of a sliding panel appear just beyond the cherry blossom tree.
Oh, I had one prepared. Okay,
I would
let's
like to hear it.
Okay. I woke to the sunrise, to the sound of clashing steel. They died during winter.
I had a fuck ton in reserve, but thankfully only one was needed.
I'll tell you out of character because you referenced blossoms in your haiku.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but I was pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, that's the reason why I picked it.
All right. The next door that you go through, you find yourself in a large, almost like a martial arts dojo. However, sitting on 3 tables, there are 3 different items. There is a sword, a katana, in its saya, which is its scabbard, for those who don't know. There is a brush, as in a painting brush or a writing brush, you would assume in an Asian culture. And there is a fan, all of which appears to be made of a iron metal. There is also an elderly man, again, who is wearing much finer robes, seated, and he will bow as you enter in a full seated bow, and he will say, "One of you must decide which form your honor will take."
And when he first of all, Richard will also bow in reply to him, and he will also say, no, his player will ask, can I roll intelligence martial arts to see if there's a trap hidden somewhere here?
A trap?
That would be dishonorable.
That's why I didn't ask it in character.
No, he is just saying you must choose which it is you would have to defend your honor, basically.
Oh,
What?
great.
It was
what was
a
the
sword, a sword, a fan, and
a sword, a fan, and a brush.
I have to go very, very soon. Can I get a roll to see what those represent in this case?
Yeah, you can roll intelligence etiquette.
Bitchin'.
Can I do that as well?
Yeah.
Evan, specific question: is it a calligraphy brush?
Yes.
Or is it a painting brush? Okay, it's calligraphy.
I got 4 successes.
4 successes.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
Intelligence etiquette. The sword commonly represents combat or martial prowess. It is also the symbol of the samurai. The pen or the quill or the paint or the brush in this case represents calligraphy, the art of letters. And the fan represents the courtly arts and manners.
I will. If I end up getting all of us killed because of these guys, I apologize. Richard will take a step forward and say and bow politely to the man and say, "I choose the quill." Insert honorific here, or the brush. Sorry.
This is okay. I'm going to say something out of character now.
Oh.
Based on your sheet, I was hoping to Christ no one picked the quill because I remembered I made the quills challenge up, and then I was like, oh.
I was gonna say. Okay, sorry.
He will say, he will look up and he will smile very widely, and he will say, "Hey, you are Richard Kenning's son, hey?"
Hi.
He will simply say, as you pick up the quill, "Show me justice and show me love."
And Richard will. Is there something for him to? Is there paper? Is what
Yes.
I'm asking. Okay. Richard will walk over to the paper, and for justice, he will. What?
I didn't say anything. I just cleared my throat. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a.
And I forgot to mute myself. I'll do that just now.
No worries, man.
You're missing something.
I'm missing.
You have a brush and you have paper.
Ooh, he. Oh, ha ha ha! Richard will. Richard will find some. Can he find something to cut himself with?
Rory offers him a knife.
He takes the knife and he.
Oh, actually, sorry. I actually just remembered my knife is. There is something unusual about it.
Oh,
It
okay.
is not intentional. It's premium.
Okay.
If that's the route that you want to go, here you go.
Richard
does-
Can I interrupt real quick? Using blood would be considered faux pas, would it not?
I will make me a difficulty 8 etiquette roll to know that, because that's really obscure.
Okay. Roll.
There will be a.
I do find it interesting that you would immediately go to writing writing in blood rather than just using ink. But that's just me.
I do get 1 success though.
I'm going to spend a willpower.
I was trying to say for the record before people start, there will be a threshold of 2 successes.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
4 successes with my etiquette.
Holy crap! If he cuts himself in here, they will kill you all.
Shit. Okay.
So the staff with little rings comes up and comes down and smacks his hand, and he just like does a no sit like thing.
Ooh,
Okay.
well done. Well done indeed. Caught me in the middle of the trick, but to be perfectly honest, I was never going to let you do it.
He will still take the brush, and is there anything he can write with?
What do you want?
Ink, preferably.
Mara will come closer to Richard Kennings. Perhaps it would be best to ask for some ink.
What type of ink? I can think of 120 different types off the top of my head.
I would prefer ink that would be suitable for drawing rather than writing.
Many and most types of inks are suitable for this.
Since I had 4 successes, can I whisper to him what behind a hand so he doesn't lose face what ink he is supposed to ask for?
You know what? Yeah, 4 successes. Yeah, pretty good. It's going to be probably some of the traditional ground ink rather than squid ink or animal-made ink or any of those various types. So it's going to be the more ground up and mixed type of ink. And Osagi will reach into his robes and he'll present an inkstone that has already been pre-prepared.
And Richard will take it with both hands, as one is supposed to accept things like that. And he will bow gratefully to him before he will move over to the paper and dip the brush in the ink.
Very casual. Very loudly around you, you will hear the Shogun's voice boom. One disrespect has been shown.
He pauses.
You didn't play the game of refusals when Usagi gave you something.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! I would not do well in Japan.
I thought Justin would catch that. I was just like, Justin.
Come on, I was leading him into that.
Yeah, you would, but it's fine. Richard suddenly pauses and then looks over at Usagi and says, "I deeply apologize. I meant no offense. Would it be acceptable for me to go on at this point?"
You've already shown that you have a desire to express yourself. It would be ill of me to prevent such.
He takes a deep breath and then decides to, well, no guts, no glory. And then he does, he draws,
I will tell you something. There are many sins in this world, but fear is but one. Regret is another one. Always go forward, never look back.
He nods politely and in a way that shows that he's grateful for that lesson, and then he puts a brush to paper, and he was tasked to draw 2 things: justice and love. Exactly. So he will look at the occupant of the room and says, "First, insert honorific here. I will show you my view of justice."
He raise a finger and he will say, "That is not what I asked."
Oh, he stops.
I asked you to show me justice and show me love. I did not ask for your
I do intend so. And he will for justice he will draw. Okay, fuck. I've gotten myself into this mess now. Let's see if I can get myself out of it. He will draw the traditional. With his academics, can he know something? Can he know sufficient? Can he know a little bit about Japanese culture?
Give me an academics role. If you have any specializations in art, let me know.
I have an intelligence book learning specialty.
You, however, don't speak Japanese as a language, do you?
Nope.
So, because I am a just and merciful God, I will let you roll Intelligence Academics difficulty 9. You will require 3 successes.
Oh, for fuck's sake! And now it exited the Discord. Just a sec.
Spend a willpower.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I came to realize when I'd written this test, I was just like, none of my players speak Japanese. Fuck.
I am going to spend 1 willpower and do the roll. And with that willpower, I get 3 successes.
All right. You are able to vaguely, it will not be great, you will be able to draw the kanji for justice. Would you like to make me another roll for love?
Oh
would.
God!
Oh boy.
Another willpower.
That willpower.
Unless, before you move on to your next painting, do you want to? I've seen this one attempted a few times. Do you want to make a deal?
He looks at Usagi. Which deal would you were you talking of, son?
I get to take something from you later, and I will give you a little bit of help with this task.
He sighs. He really wants to survive this, so he nods and says, "I accept your terms."
Now, in our language, that is shared and has taken a variety of form throughout the ages, throughout the worlds, throughout the dimensions. Think of how it came to be. Think of what those symbols represent. You've already drawn the symbols of justice. What does it look like to you? What is it? How do the pieces come together? And he will just, in a sense, draw in midair a symbol for the simple fire. And as the symbol fades out, you'll see that the symbol becomes a traditional triangular log-built fire. How that symbol completely captures the very essence of what that fire is. And the very chi, the flow, the life of it is expressed through the symbol, those few simple strokes. He'll draw another symbol, a symbol of a warrior. You see him make the little thing, and it shines in midair, and it comes to pieces. It's the man standing next to a sword, a symbol of an army. He draws 3 of those symbols, and they're alive. They're capturing the essence of what a group is, or what discipline is, of the person made before the sword, and together they become one, and together the 3 become the singular symbol for an army. This is the center of our writing style, our art, if you will. Keep this in mind.
He nods, and he will take again, put the brush to the paper, and he will draw something kawaii. No, of course he won't. He will
I'll reward you 3 bonus dice for your roll.
In that case,
And I will drop the difficulty,
Willpower.
and I will drop the difficulty by 1.
Willpower.
and he will make the roll. 11 dice.
Now, just to add, because the difficulty also dropped, that it matters less getting the kanji right. By all means, kanji is a disciplined art. From what has been explained to you, it matters more of capturing the essence of what you're trying to write.
Yeah. So that is one success. What he attempts to write is love, but not just the kanji for the literal meaning of the word love. What he attempts is to convey the emotion of love in the writing, and love in its not only in its romantic interpretation, not even primarily that, but love in its chivalrous, chivalric interpretation, in its what do you call it? Not
Honorable
esoteric.
interpretation.
Yeah.
I believe is what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
exactly. Like, yeah, I think that, yeah, chivalrous, honorable, and its abstract meaning as well. But with one success.
Was that just
I
with the
fear the
bonus
worst.
dice, or was that all the dice altogether?
That was the 11 dice.
And that's reducing the difficulty by 1 as well.
Yeah. Difficulty 8. I rolled a fuck ton of 1s.
Difficulty 8 becomes difficulty 7.
Oh yeah, but it was difficulty 9 first, right?
Yeah, it was diff 9 originally.
Oh, sorry.
The adjudicator will very, very calmly stand up at this point. He will walk over and he will look down at the writing, and he will say, This is unacceptable. However, at that moment, something weird happens. You'll hear the again, at which point his kimono physically gets hiked up over his face, and the door behind him gets slid open.
Rory looks away immediately.
Eyes averted.
I, being the honorable monk, assist him while looking away.
I'm going to assume everyone else runs for the door.
Yep.
Rory does not.
Cheese it. Yep.
I'm not going to run either. It's not honorable.
Very casually, you will hear in your ear, "Oh, well, I'd highly recommend Honorable Samurai-sama getting the hell out of here at what I would refer to as breakneck speed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to hold him for long, so if you don't want to fail and have to go back to the beginning, or worst of all, one of you have to open your belly, I'd recommend run as fast as you can."
Okay, this may be incredibly stupid, but Rory is going to. He's looking away while the monk is assisting.
Okay.
And assuming once the guy is reconstituted appropriately, he is going to walk over to the table and very respectfully bow without making eye contact in the challenge way and touch the hilt of the sword.
They're both gone. When one was selected, my apologies, I may have lagged. When one of them was selected, the other two turned to dust.
Oh.
Sorry.
I just feel this is not the way of Bushido.
You're not wrong.
This is not Bushido.
One question:
Yeah,
what is
of course.
Usagi doing?
I'm somewhat bemused at the moment. I'm not looking at the person who has been exposed, but I'm keeping my eye on the person that has actually honorably stayed behind.
Okay. Roris
There's like
has
three of us.
Two. You know,
Roris has stayed behind as well. So
this is actually more than expected.
By the way, okay, you will eventually unpants the monk. Some of you were standing outside because you walked outside and came to the horrible realization that there's another folding door on the opposite side that's closed, and no matter what, you can't open the bloody thing. However, when the monk has managed to right the poor old samurai and straighten him down, you will see the fact that, and Richard, you will notice this most of all, the paper that you wrote love on is not the paper you wrote love on. It has a slightly different tweaked kanji on it.
And what does the kanji? No, I can't read Japanese.
It looks similar to the one. No, it literally looks like somebody altered your work ever so slightly.
Oh.
I see the ink has dried.
At which point the old monk will look down and go, "This is acceptable. You may proceed." And you can tell the old samurai is completely shaken up, just like everyone saw my britches.
And yet we're all pretending that we saw nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone saw my britches.
Nothing happened.
At which point you'll hear as you walk through the next door leads to a long corridor in front of which you see
Can I do something?
Yes.
Quickly? After he says we may proceed, Rory's going to be the last one out, and before he leaves, he's going to bow to the old samurai and says, you wouldn't address him as a sense that how would you address?
It's a monk.
He's an elderly samurai, so you'd address him as Sama.
Okay. Honored Sama. I even my ignorant eyes can see the skill in your arm. If we are deemed worthy of the challenge and successful, I would be just like trying to think of a way. I would be I would consider myself honored beyond measure if I might go, if I might spar with you.
He will give you the very respectful bow, which is when they brush their arms before they offer the bow as a sign of humility. And he will say, "That would please me greatly. But hurry, your friends have already left."
He runs back. He just wants to make the old samurai feel better.
In front of you, there's a long corridor, at the end of which there is a huge iron door that you would assume is the vault. However, standing in front of the door, there are a duo of figures, one of whom is much taller than the other. The other is much wider than the other, at which point you'll hear one of them say to the other, "Oh, come on, Pigsy, honestly. I tell you to open a door, and you can't even manage that. Come on." "Oh, hello, boys and girls."
Handsome sage.
"Lord Death Rabbit."
Well, you made the arrangements. You know why they're here.
"Yes, yes." He'll casually raise his hand and he'll say, "I am a representative of the august personage of Jade, and thus and beyond the tantamounts of your lord's control and or repercussions for any of my actions that might be considered or deemed dishonorable."
Thank you very much. And now that we got the specifics out the way, how are you?
"I'm good. How's your mom?"
You know what? Doing well. Baking.
She makes the pills of immortality on the moon. What the hell does she bake?
Well, next time we go to the bi-millennial ball, I'll make sure to get you some.
Excellent. He'll turn and he'll give an almost comic bow where he almost falls over, and he'll say, "Hi, kids."
Is this okay? Out of character again. My character wouldn't know this in character. Out of character. Is this the Monkey King's son?
Oh wait, I'm actually required to do the introductions here. Might I actually be my personal pleasure and honor to introduce an old friend of mine, the great handsome sage equal to heaven, His Honorable Monkey.
"Hello."
And a variety of other names that if you want to use them, he will go with them, but it's my personal favorite.
"I personally just prefer Sun Wukong, but it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance."
Yeah, I thought so.
Royce will bow his head and say, "I have read about your great triumphs in the book of Journey to the West."
"Oh, that time when I took a field trip. Yeah, it was pretty cool."
You know, kingdoms were leveled, demons slain, the usual.
In my defense, I would like to point out that was strictly not my fault. But then again, these things happen. On a side note, Royce, you and I have actually met before.
Who is he speaking to about that?
You. He says, "You and I, Royce, have met before."
Are you the Nightingale?
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
I'll be right back.
Then if you are the Nightingale, then we have met before.
No, it's kind of complicated in the sense that he is me and I am him, but it's more like he is an avatar of me on the mortal plane.
He's very good company, I will admit that.
So you mean like one of the hairs from your tail?
Yes! And I'm led to understand that you're currently trying to revivify or reclaim or, in other words, reconnect with a piece of my lost property.
That is very true, Sun Wukong.
what can I say? I couldn't exactly let I don't know his name. Little person over there who thinks he's smarter than all of you.
I turn towards the Order of Hermes and like do the which one?
It's clearly Richard.
Yeah. Okay.
Come again. What? I zoned out for a bit. What's clearly Richard?
That was
The
not a
Monkey King
character
said,
comment.
I couldn't let that guy who thinks he's cleverer than the rest of you, and they just said, we assume that's Richard. Get horribly and brutally murdered for simply not literally crossing an I and dotting a T.
Oh, Rory just looks. Okay, then he tries to look dignified again.
And also, I will point out, you said it was against the Bushido and this, that, and the other. But technically, as I'm a direct agent of the, technically as I'm a direct servant of the August Personage Brigade in person, I can set what is honorable and what is not honorable. For example, he turns around and boots the pig who's standing next to him right in the groin. I deem this to be honorable. The pig on the ground. Yes, yes, some would call it honorable.
Rory is just trying to like keep a straight face, but he like loves this guy.
Doesn't even try to keep a straight face. He laughs and like taps his staff 3 times in appreciation. Ding,
You can see
ding,
he's
ding.
like really hyperactive. He's like bouncing from one foot to another. He says, "So, hey. Odd question. Do any of you possess any food?"
I do,
Yes.
in fact.
I like him.
And I have rum as well.
I don't know what that is.
You
It's
have heard
strong
of drinking
alcohol.
monkey style.
On the side there, I'd like to
He
point out
just
'cause it's
hands
actually
over
really,
a large, like,
it was really
sailor's
hard to
bottle
find a
of rum.
picture. I'm just really happy with myself. It was really I was really happy to find a picture of the Monkey King, the one that I found, because it makes him look just the right amount of mischievous. Because only
Yeah,
this
this
make
is
him look
actually
really serious.
Yeah. It reminds me of what Dream Pursuit would have been if she'd been male and a monkey.
And a Hanuman.
Very
Yeah.
cheeky. Yes.
He does also bear a
He's a
resemblance to
cheeky
Sun Wukong from Ruby.
He's literally a cheeky monkey.
He's going to very casually hop, and he's now seat this. He's put his tail on the ground, and the tail is holding him up. So he's literally sitting in stays up with his tail supporting his whole weight. As he leans forward and he says, "You guys do know that in order to hold and carry the staff, you have to be my chosen, right?"
I
Awesome.
do, in
Nice,
fact,
eh?
know this, good sir.
The staff, I believe, weighs 76,448 pounds.
Is that all?
Yep.
Evan, I do hand over like I said, a sailor's jug of
Black rum.
rum, and
Hey,
then I give
thanks.
him beef jerky.
I hand over a
He will,
chocolate bar.
he will happily sit there and eat what he is offered, and he'll say, "However, fortunately, we're in luck because there is somebody here who could, in fact, be my chosen if he really wanted to and actually buckled down and did something with his life."
I turn to Sketch.
Sketch flips you off quite quickly.
Rose is going to look around and say, "This is quite unusual. I do not see anybody here that I would deem worthy of being your chosen."
He's gonna kind of flip himself back up onto his feet in a somersault, and he'll land before he walks over to Sketch, and he says, "You know, how to phrase this? You care about other people more than you care about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're also, yeah, you take things, but in general, you take things to make other people's lives better. I've been watching you for quite a long time."
Sketch just nods like, okay. Just still confused face.
He'll smile and he'll say, "What do you think, Lord Death Rabbit? Do you approve of my choice?"
Your choices are as they always are, unexpected. But to be perfectly honest, his virtues outweigh his sins at the moment. That is actually surprisingly rare.
He'll very calmly take Sketch's hand and he'll ball Sketch's hand into a fist if Sketch will let him.
Yeah, Sketch just looks really confused. Like this little guy is okay. Yeah, cool.
He's not little, by the way. He's about 6'2".
Oh, even better. Yeah, you just like okay.
He'll say,
You have no idea who I am, do you?
No.
Okay. Out of character, Evan has to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to let somebody else fill him in on the magnanimity of this.
Come on, one of you must know the story of the Monkey King.
I know the
At
Monkey
this point,
King
Ross
story.
is going to speak up.
Rory knows the
Basically, the Monkey King is like this old Chinese. It's technically Chinese, but it does kind of like have some crossover with Japan. Basically, he's kind of like I suppose the best comparison that you could make, without going into too much detail, is that they're kind of like Loki in a way. They're a trickster spirit, but they're a little bit more wholesome than Loki was.
Trickster god, if you will. He did get
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
In fact, technically speaking, did you know that Goku in the original Dragon Ball series, he was supposed to be intended to be presented as an avatar of the Monkey King? That's why he had the Saiyan. That was why he had the monkey tail as a child, and before they went with the whole Saiyan thing.
To correct you on that, it was actually his representation in Journey to the West that inspired his creation as Goku. However, Sun Wu Kang in Chinese means Son Goku in Japanese.
Basically, yeah. Essentially, think of him as the Asian, the Chino-Japanese trickster god. You're not far wrong.
Ah, okay. So yeah, Sketch was just nod. Like, okay, I can fuck with that. Internally, like, I dig it.
Please, Loki has nothing on this guy.
He'll smile and say, I only teach. Well, the important thing is that you have to remember is that I teach lessons whenever I do something like that, because ultimately speaking, I think that in order to create a better world, you have to be able to laugh. But unfortunately, laughter seems to be a scarce commodity when it comes to those who are totalitarian and or fascist in their outlook on life. So I try to bring those people down a peg or two.
I can respect that.
So, would you like to officiate in all of the universes and all of the parallel dimensions as they stand obsequious to one another in and of the current time dimension and or the parallel states of existence to be my current new enfackled and embodied chosen?
Sure. Yeah.
There
Sounds
we
like a
go.
plan. Yeah. Cool.
You can see Usagi has already pulled out a scroll, made a few notes, made thing. Sign here, please.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Cool.
Initial here.
Signs. Here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, doesn't read the terms and conditions, just blindly agrees because he doesn't know what half of them are.
In the name of the celestial bureaucracy, this agreement is sealed.
Nice.
Congratulations, both of you. I'm sure it will be a much beneficial partnership between the both of you.
Monkey, Paulprint, please.
He will give it.
And the scroll disappears. Well, it's a good path that you've chosen. Don't screw it up.
I'll do my best not to. Yeah, of course, yeah. Nods. Really nervously, like I have no idea what I've just agreed to, but fuck it.
Sketch is going to receive a 7-point marriage called Blessing of the Monkey King.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'll write it up and put it on your sheet later.
Yeah, I don't want to explain that this guy is ungodly powerful.
Oh Jesus!
This guy is the guy that goes around other people's heavens and wrecks shit.
Oh god!
Pretty much, yeah.
He very calmly kind of turns and he shrugs before he says, however, there's one last tiny itty bitty, ever so slightly yet innumerable detail that you probably should know.
Sure. Yeah, fire away.
Well, okay. How to phrase this? So, do you know what's behind that door?
No. Probably the thing we gotta get.
Yes. However, it's also the treasure vault of the august personage of Jade.
Oh. Gold.
Oh.
I see.
He thinks that there's just gold in there.
I can assure you that there are objects made from gold in there.
Anything that someone who is akin to the highest personage of power and worthiness in this universe, mere wealth will not be in there. There will be things much more valuable.
Yes, and you've succeeded in your trial. However, you can only remove one thing. You can only touch what it is you came here for, and you have to find it.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Just get that faraway look, gets in Sketch's eyes, it's just a gem like starts to appear in his face. Right.
Are we supposed to swear in here?
He kind of looks up. Fuck, diddly, fuck, diddly, fuck, diddly, fuck, diddly, fuck. Yeah, I think you're good.
Oh, thank God.
Now that's just rude.
He'll casually shrug. I hereby declare it's not rude, and because I am the direct emissary of the august personage of Jade, it is correct.
I get away with saying that now.
It's just like, Usagi, checkmate. But he'll shrug, and he'll say, so, yeah, you can only touch what it is you came for, and also, I'm led to understand that my staff doesn't currently look like my staff.
Yep. Sorry, when I put it back in there. On the plus side, I got this nice sword.
He'll casually sigh as he says, can you at least give them a hint?
One of them did make a bargain with me already, so you know what? I'm willing to do it.
Hey.
Well,
on a side note, fine, I'll steal you another one of the peaches.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
There we go. For any of you who know the story, he's just agreed to steal
Peaches of
peach.
Immortality.
Yes.
Yeah. I know this stuff. My character does not, except unless it appears in anime.
But he'll say, all right then, Lord High Death God, give them their head.
Got to make it a good one. Got to make it a generous one, but also have to make sure that it doesn't give the game away. It is within there. You'll find many objects, but you'll find one object lacking its partner.
Right.
And you know what I put it in there, so you have to accept that that's a good one.
I accept this. He will bowl his he will bowl before just to repeat that, he will bowl his tail up and basically roast this Usagi with his tail. But yes, Usagi, repeat the hint.
There are many objects in there, but there is one object that is missing its partner.
Are we still live?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if you completed your trials, you may open the door. Sorry, Pigsy. You know it's one of those invitation-only deals.
I never get to go anywhere nice. Pigsy, I took you to India. I never get to go anywhere nice. On the side note, someone might become a regular NPC because I fucking love Flick.
No, I wouldn't mind. He's pretty cool.
Me neither.
All right then, everybody. Let's let's do this.
Okay. The door will.
Can you repeat that?
As the door spontaneously lands on Richard. But you will basically the door will itself grind open on its hinges. Long since it has been opened in such a fashion, you sense as you hear it move. Then again, in this place, time moves strangely. The Monkey King casually walks up. This door must weigh, if you had to guess, it's made of solid metal. It must weigh 30 tons. It's huge. It is literally, you guess it's about 25 foot tall. The Monkey King places one hand on it. You'd say it would take a team of oxen to open. The Monkey King casually places a hand on it and drags it open. Like it's nothing. He's just like, doo, 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 doo.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to know about any of the objects, do please ask.
I have to do this right. Who disturbs my slumber? Not really.
Oh,
Welcome to the cave of wonders.
Cave of Wonders. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice.
All right, I have to go and get up a thing. In the room, you find spread as far as the eye can see gold, ivory, jade. So much wealth that it would be the dreams of emperors and potentates. It would be the longing of tyrants. It is wealth beyond the dreams, the concept of avarice. And there, spread amongst them, are various plinths that are each contain or have placed upon them satin and silk pillows upon which sit various items of interest. You guys assume that were you to enter this room with your prime sight on, you would probably now be blind. And I'm saying permanently blind. There were masks, appear to be made from dark mahogany and porcelain. There are gigantic eggs the size of your arm from your fingertip to your elbow that sits...
Is that a dragon's egg?
You can ask Usagi that.
Usagi-sensei, is that a dragon's egg?
That is an egg from the great dragon of the Yellow River.
White eyes?
No touchy.
As you enter...
That literally comes from Ross. No touchy.
As you enter? Okay, basically, there's essentially a central point of this treasure hoard upon which sit many objects. You see, for example...
Some of my favorites.
Yes. You see, for example... a mask that appears to be made entirely from black oaken wood that has great porcelain teeth that jut from it.
Would you like to know about this one? I'm quite proud of this one. This was my personal gift to he who sits most on high.
Usagi-san.
This one is the Vampire Kabuki mask of the Emperor's set. Gives you all the capabilities of the vampires, none of the downsides.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Next, we have a beautifully carved. This would literally make Dream Pursuer, I don't know, like writhe in ecstasy. It is a huge medallion made of white jade with a roaring tiger on it.
Which is probably heard from like halfway across the world for some bizarre reason.
You will see a number of scrolls tied and bound. Some of them have Latin inscriptions on them that have nothing to do, that are not written in Chinese at all. Random fact.
Latin inscriptions, you say?
Yes.
What do the inscriptions say?
But, one of them says, Hereticus excommunicatus, intranorum venedictus, Judaeus prenus rex, apranorum sent to dormus, acravenen ervaderinus, dergonus gospelius, non penus tatus, incantatum evanuct.
Oh,
Out of
shit.
character, is that the Order of St. Michael's Banishing Scroll?
No, this is
declared heretical by the declared heretical by His Holiness Pope Judician II, the true and final gospel according to Judas Iscariot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The fucking Dead Sea. You could have
Oh.
just said that they were the Dead Sea Scrolls, man. Fucking hell.
No, that's not the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's something else.
Fuck.
That is
Masturbation
something.
of Christ.
That is something like legendary. There's
Mhm.
real world.
Mhm.
They never have copies.
So
Mhm.
the want to read that is so strong.
Don't want to have that bloody vampire mask is strong.
But yeah,
Rory is
Gee! That's a sketch. It's like looking around. Just, oh.
Rory is very careful not to touch anything, but he is looking for something specific.
I have noted that, Sam. Interestingly enough, Sam, this place has literally no weapons in it.
Is Ogway's shield in here by any chance?
No. To continue on, there is a silver acorn that sits in a small circular silver stand that keeps it off the table.
This is another one of my personal gifts.
Is that an acorn of antiquity?
I don't know what you mean by that.
The legends where I come from, there is a tree called Antiquity from which all knowledge can be found. And a single silver acorn was given to a great man once upon a time.
Sounds about right. By the way, moving swiftly forward.
Mm-hmm. This is really odd. There is a vial, a glass, almost like a chemistry tube, in which hung suspended there is a single drop of liquid that is floating above the bottom that glows with an almost unearthly light.
Usagi-sensei, what is that?
This was given to he who sits most on high, well, returned to he who sits most on high by the great Buddha. It contains a single one of his tears.
Right.
Not the Buddha's tears. His.
When some of my, I suppose you'd call them my kin, my lesser kin, admittedly, but gotta be king of something, unfortunately screwed up. They'll get back someday. Someday. They'll be fine. But he wept a single tear. It was that particular tear.
It's quite something to that.
You will then see 5 demonic-looking masks set into a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of which are different colors and look slightly different. But they all look to be made by the same crafter or hands.
What are those mean-looking objects?
The masks of, how best to put it, wood, fire, metal, water, and earth, encompassing it, embellishing it, expressing it. The Oni masks, the true Oni masks, are something indeed. It took lifetimes for those to get collected.
Are those, out of character, do they look like dragons?
No, they look like Japanese demons.
Yes. Okay. Never mind.
But what do they do, Sensei?
I've not used most of them. The Mask of Wood is perhaps the single most powerful warding, empowering object in the known universe. The very legions of hell cannot penetrate its protections to find you. Should you wear it?
If you recall, they're still trying to break through in Yama.
Good times, good times.
For the record, for those of you who have a cult too, it's a pretty common thing. Yama is basically the darkest of the 1,000 hells.
Excuse me, but would that not solve some of our problems with the things that come from beyond the veil?
No. It would not solve it.
Well, okay. Let me explain this to you in layman's terms, because from what I remember, you're pretty slow. So imagine the world is a circle, and imagine the circle is surrounded by another circle. Okay. So even if we did this, even if we put another circle around the world to protect it from those things that come from the other side, the problem isn't that. The problem is that you people keep opening the door to them. You let evil in. It's not a matter of us stopping it. It's a matter of the fact that you not only open the door, but scream, "Hey guys, free the Fae!"
Hey, to be perfectly honest, the stuff that you guys are dealing with is the stuff that falls through the cracks.
Wait, sorry, what was that? Okay, out of character. What was that about freeing the Fae?
He didn't say anything. He said free buffet.
Oh, free buffet. Okay, never mind. Rory did not perk up.
I was going to say, in theory, for the record, yeah, no, I'm not going to introduce that, or else Kim would hurt me.
Yes.
Yeah, in theory, we could use that to summon the true Fae.
You will see a tiny box made entirely of green jade, upon which there is a tiny cushion, upon which sits what looks like a single pill, almost like a painkiller, almost like a paracetamol or something.
The temptation to swallow that pill is so strong.
Oh, do you know what it is?
The red pill.
No.
Oh.
Red pill.
That, my friends, is the pill of immortality.
Oh. Of course it is. Sketch would just say staring at all the things he can't steal.
Made by your mom's own hand.
Yes, it's a divine duty to produce them as required by he who sits most on high.
He doesn't ask for them much anymore.
Well, we don't exactly
We can
put new
only
gods on
take the
pedestals
Monkey King
anymore.
staff.
You will see a beautiful solid gold picture frame. Behind the picture frame, inside the picture frame, there's a single feather, beautifully multicolored feather, and leaning up against it, there appears to be a jade chopstick.
Quetzalcoatl feathers?
That's the feather from the vermilion bird. Special stuff. Opposite to one of the forms, great creatures of the compass. You have the great white tiger, the black turtle, the green dragon, and the vermilion bird.
The black turtle still owes me money.
You'll get to it eventually.
Wait, I thought it was the black ox. Or is that a different?
As much as I appreciate Oxy is not one of the great directional beasts.
He wishes he was.
Alright, so I guess everyone anything other than the Monkey King staff. Sad face.
The next thing that's pretty interesting is there is a single sheet. There's a single long scroll. It's about 10 feet or so long that has absolutely nothing written on it.
That damn scroll.
Oh no. Who unrolled it? Why did they unroll it? Why would you ever unroll it?
Don't
What
touch
is it?
anything.
Yeah, what is it?
Honestly, I have no idea.
We have no idea.
It says stuff occasionally.
Occasionally, it tells the future.
Oh,
Or the present.
Or the past when it really wants to be fucking asinine.
Scroll of truth.
Yeah.
So, have you guys found it yet?
No, but I found something I really want.
Why?
Did you say why?
Yes.
Because Ogwe is the high-low of the sea, and there is a mask that is of the water.
But you're a will worker. You could create such a thing if you live long enough and gain the power. And make it an offering.
think of all the people. Think of
I
everybody.
mean, assuming we don't all die here or later.
Look at all this stuff, though.
The Monkey King will very casually sit on his tail again, just like. Whoop.
Here you go.
Thank you. They're both sipping tea and judging you now.
Rory is okay. Out of character, can you remind me of what we're looking for? We're looking for something that has no partner.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Can you repeat the whole clue again?
That was it. You were looking for an item that does not have its pair or its partner.
All right, guys, fan out and don't touch anything. He says in the most miserable voice.
Yeah. Rory is something he doesn't know.
Whatever happened to the bag? Whatever happened to the bag of the 8 wins?
That's actually a pretty good question. Who made off with that?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Are you certain?
I'm okay. It was me.
Oh, that explains one thing. I will forget that I heard anything.
Oh, okay.
Can't he say that it is honorable for him to take it and then thus take it?
Technically speaking, this is the august personage of Jade's own property, so even me saying it is can't contradict him saying it's not.
There are
Rory
certain rules
crinkles
that apply in this place.
Rory crinkles his brow because thinking is painful, especially when the effect that made it easier is gone. He doesn't touch anything, but he's now walking around more, and he is looking for slippers or shoes or gloves.
Okay.
Specifically,
I will point out, guys, I have already because I'm going to be fair. I've already described it and I've already said where it is.
Oh.
You guys may have missed, and I'm not going to repeat it, but you guys may have missed it because I purposely threw it in.
I spotted it, but then again, I know.
Okay, well.
But feel free to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these have some grandiose stories attached.
Anyone have
To be fair,
eidetic
I haven't
memory?
really been paying much attention to any of them besides the vampire mask and the white jade tiger medallion. Because those are pretty cool.
Sketch will kneel down beside the scroll of truth, wherever the fuck that blank scroll is, and he won't touch it or anything, and he'll go, Oi, is the thing I'm looking for close to me?
That's clever.
It will respond, yes.
In front of me or behind me, or to left to right?
It will say, you've already seen it, but you don't know what it is.
Rory looks at the acorn.
Okay.
I will ask the scroll. Excuse me, scroll of truth. Can you give me a hint in the form of a haiku on what the item we are looking for looks like now?
To be perfectly honest, the Scroll of Truth is actually a pretty good name for it. I used to just call it the mysterious mystery scroll of mystery.
It will respond, I could, but then again, I really don't want to.
Dick.
Okay, he looks at the. What does the acorn look like? And what's it surrounded by?
It is a silver acorn.
Is there anything that would have dropped it?
No.
Is it near anything?
No, it's sitting by itself.
Is there anything on the ceiling? I don't think I've asked to look up yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Grog. Hey, Grog. You know what's on the ceiling?
The world?
Forever. You can't. It's the wideness and vastness of space with thousands of stars winking down at you.
Oh my god, that's so pretty.
And terrifying.
Yes.
Evan?
Yes?
I look over to the scroll. How about nautical terms and numbers to guide me? For I am a sailor.
It will.
And I have the
very
stars
calmly
before
say.
me.
It will calmly say 5 fathoms down, fuckwit.
Jesus. It's not a scroll of
Second
truth.
straight until morning.
Okay, that is truly a scroll of truth. It
Scroll
summarizes.
of turn, basically.
It will then respond. It will then continue to write, saying, "I'm not your mystic 8-ball, you stupid nautical motherfucker."
Oh God, I love this.
Sketch of the stand-up. Scroll of truth, sassy motherfucker. Fuck.
I suppose we could say the truth hurts.
Scroll
Okay.
of shade.
All right. So hold on, guys. I don't want to be here
Throw
all day.
more
and I
shade
don't
than in the somber courts of blood.
We are looking for. Okay, we saw the vampire mask. We saw the five.
Which I want to have, but I know I can't have.
Yes, the 5 dragon masks.
Just so you know, because you haven't disgraced yourselves, there's nothing stopping you coming back in the future. We can chat.
I think the end of the world might stop us from coming back in the future. To be fair.
You might want to do something about that.
Yeah, we'll do something about that first, and we'll come back.
Yes. So we have 5 masks, the acorn, the other mask, the pill, the file of the tear.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The tear could actually, or it's like, it could be the tear because there would have been a tear from each eye.
Would there have been? I know I've personally at one point shed one single tear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is physically possible for you to shed a single tear.
What about the feather?
It was a feather?
Yeah,
It was a feather. As you walk back and look at the feather again, yeah, there's a feather sitting in a really fancy gold case.
It's the feather. Corey says it's the feather.
There's a feather sitting in a really fancy gold case with a chopstick leaning against it.
Nope, it's the chopstick.
Yep. There's 2 pairs of chopsticks, yeah. I was thinking, fuck.
No. Hold on. It might be the feather. I actually. I mean, it could be the chopstick too. The feather. He looks at Sun Wukong. Is Sun Wukong wearing a headdress with 1 feather right now?
No.
I'm assuming there's just one. You said 1 chopstick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A single chopstick that appears to be made of jade.
In Sketch of Turn, there's normally 2 chopsticks.
Yes.
What needs a pair?
Okay, what? Can you describe the feather? I'm pretty sure it's a chopstick, but just in case it's the phoenix feather.
The feather is multi-hued. It looks like it's made of rainbow.
So it is a. It does it look like a phoenix feather?
Not really. A phoenix feather you think would be red.
Okay. Well then, never mind. He looks
Sketch-
sketch.
Sketch a look at Song Wukong. It's a chopstick, isn't it? There's normally two chopsticks.
His face is completely impassive, and he'll say, "Honestly, I can't tell you."
I think the chops.
We are allowed to what? To take only one item from here? Is that correct?
No, you can only leave with what you wanted when you came in.
Which means if we don't find what we wanted when we came in here, we can't leave.
All right then.
Or if you
Hold
make
on.
the wrong, or
We're
if you
looking
make
for
the
a
wrong,
staff.
or if you make the wrong decision, you're vaporized. I believe.
Wait,
That
hold
was
on.
the simplest way.
We're looking, gentlemen. We're looking for a staff.
We were looking for a staff that could appear to be anything. It could appear to be your left nutsack right now.
Well then.
I'm wearing kilt, so I
So
can't
Wukong will
really
immediately arch an eyebrow and he'll say, "Wait a minute, you have a right and a left nutsack? That's interesting."
You know, I've
With
never
enough-
truly studied their physiology to that degree.
Well, right. Okay, Sketch to turn everybody. Hands up who thinks this is a chopstick. We're just gonna have to do this easy, the fucking child way. So hands up.
Loris will raise his hand at that.
Rory raises his hand.
Do you want me to go first?
So does Richard.
Fuck it. Sketch to turn. Fuck it, I'll do it. Fucking might as well. Chosen one, right? Just reaches for the chopstick, closing his eyes like, please, 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 you know.
As your hand wraps around the chopstick, you hear Song Wukong sigh and say, "You have chosen poorly." At which point he immediately bursts out laughing and says, "No, I'm shitting with you. You got it right. But that was amazing."
You're a dick. You know, just don't fix the chopstick.
He's just going to look over at you and say, "Now I know why the goddess put you in that cage and you had to be found by that priest."
As you spin it around, by the way, you feel the urge to spin the staff, and it grows and it grows and it grows until it stands about 6 foot tall with you, and it is made entirely of jade.
Whoa.
Well done. See, pay off your soggy.
It was a good hint. You have me give them a hint.
And I have to go and steal from a fucking august personage's garden. What's your point?
Fine. Here you go.
Thank you. He will take the handful of jade coins and put them in his pocket. Well done. I'm honestly proud of you. Oh.
Right.
He will very casually take the coins that Usagi gave and he'll throw them up into the air. One for each of you. As you catch them, and you will catch them, they'll actually move slower as they approach you. You'll notice the fact that they're not just the same. They're round tabular coins in the style of ancient China, in the sense that they're rectangular as opposed to circular. However, you'll notice that they have the Monkey King's face on one side of them, and he'll say, "Because you guys have been such great sports, consider this my gift to you. It's a little bit esoteric, but you've gotten my staff back, so, I feel like being chummy. So, in the event you ever really need something, or in the event you need me, just hold that and call my name. I'll come."
Roris is going to put it in a separate pocket from the other coins that he carries around, and he's going to bow.
Rory is going to. Okay, I may be taking this the wrong way, but Rory's going to say, "I thank you for the gift you offered, and I'm truly honored. But I really
You don't have to do that bullshit with me. Thank you."
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, you're giving the gift. Now I have to give them.
That's true. Give them a gift.
What do you want is the question. I mean, I could give you something like his. I mean, jade tokens are a pretty good one, you have to say.
Maximilian is just staring at that sea mask, like with unadulterated, like I want to borrow this look.
I will point out
Mara's
that
got her eyes on that vampire mask.
Yeah,
you
Richard is
are
quite
100% not allowed to give them anything from this room. You know that, Asagi. The paperwork. The paperwork.
Yes, the
Wait a second.
celestial bureaucracy.
Wait a second. Could we use this coin to get the paperwork done and then borrow it?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, we know how you'll be long dead by the time we finish filling it out, to be perfectly honest.
Hi, my name is Sun Wukong. I don't do fucking paperwork.
But
I
yes,
burn paperwork.
tell you what, I will follow in suit with the Monkey King. You may each have one of my jade tokens. If you really need me, do so, but make sure it's worth it. My time's valuable.
I will point out, bear in mind, he and I have different purviews.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
there will come a certain point where each of you might meet him and where you can ask him to go away.
And similar to the nice shining silver coins that were previously given, these ones are flicked up to the air to each of you individual, and these ones are more of a jet black and ivory on one side and black on the other. Been a while since I've handed these out.
This
I
is
remember. Why did you give one to Genghis Khan? Were you drunk?
That guy was the guy. I mean, I cannot. You really should have met him when you had the chance.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sorry, what is the creature? Asahi is what kind of creature again?
He's a rabbit.
Sagi means rabbit in Japanese, just so you know.
I did not know that. Okay.
I put it in the group chat like about an hour or so ago.
But with that, the Monkey King will hold out his hand and the staff will flick to his hand for a moment. And he'll, in an incredibly graceful series of martial arts moves, he'll just kind of flick around saying, yep, this is mine. He'll then throw it back to, he'll then casually throw it back to Sketch and he'll say, now, I unfortunately can't let you keep this, but I think you kind of understood that.
Yeah.
He'll walk over and kind of tussle his hair, and he'll say, but I do have a special gift for you.
Right. Oh. Okay.
I, Sun Wukong, first groomed to the high celestial majesty, the august personage of Jade, the greatest sage under heaven, he who can walk but being unseen, he who speaks many names and yet never speaks the truth, he who ventured to the west and brought back its truth, he who has wandered every path, he who has seen every rhythm, he who has known every lie, do hereby swear that the vision you saw in the mirror will never come to pass.
Huh.
For the record, that mirror has a nasty trick. You know it was going to come to pass because you saw it, right?
You'll just nod. Yeah.
Cool. He'll tussle Sketch's hair and he'll say, I see great things for you, even if you don't necessarily see them for yourself.
You just give this kind of shrug, like, okay. I mean, really awkwardly.
Well, you can give credit. He doesn't say that about, well, anyone, really.
Oh. Are you ready to go home?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said to the honorable samurai in room 2 that I would spar with him.
He will contemplate and he'll say, there'll be plenty of time for that if the world doesn't end.
Fair point.
I want to like your world. Some of my stuff lives there.
I mean, there are other worlds. You can always use the token and I'll take you to one of them.
But will they survive if this one falls?
I don't know. That's kind of the problem, and our master has been oddly quiet on the topic.
Doesn't seem to be a good idea. Or a good sign.
Well, when your master is God, I don't really think so, no.
Since you're the first groom of the august personage, you could take a message to him, could you not?
His eye will flick up and he'll say, am I still technically banished?
I believe you still have a few things on your to-do list.
So the answer to that is probably. Whether I would then get booted out of creation for a millennia or so is another question.
Technically, you could ask Pixie do it. He earned his forgiveness after your last trip.
Hey, Pixie! You're gonna go talk to God! I don't even know why I do this anymore. Shut up, Pixie! Why? Why do you wanna ask him? I'm curious.
I wish to highly praise him and to let him know that the servant of Ogway has been here and wishes to convey his gratitude.
He's gonna very calmly walk up and he does the thing with his two fingers where he smacks you over the head and he says, you honestly think he doesn't know how you feel and the fact that you sent him these good feelings? If you think he doesn't know that you're here, he knows all of these things, whether we tell him or not. It wouldn't make a difference if we told him, but he knows. And he cares. That's kind of his gig.
Yes, but it's not often that one gets to send a haiku and a thank you.
But you get to do that all the time. You
Never
act like if you say it, he will hear you. That's kind of how the job works.
I'm sure he's a little bit behind the scenes at the moment. Doesn't mean he doesn't pay attention.
Mysterious ways. Mysterious ways.
So then the good God is then the Augustus personage are the same beings then.
Yeah.
I mean, just to explain the thing, I mentioned this earlier. You guys feel that the world might be big, dark, burning, corrupt, however you feel about it. We can get most of the things. Things fall through the cracks. We're sorry that you have to deal with them. That's why we have people like you.
For the record, you exalt, or not exalt, wrong game. You ascend, or you have your awakenings because you're considered to be great beings, and because you may one day stand as a bulwark to help us, patch those horrendous cracks that are currently forming because humanity exists, and humanity is drawn more and more towards the darkness.
I mean, it's a multifaceted existence. And sorry, some people really dropped the ball. I'm looking at you, Morningstar.
We don't talk about
Morningstar currently in the room.
No.
It is not a literal question.
No, I like him. He'll. I've gone drinking with your father before. He can't hold his liquor.
Yeah. But he's good at 9 things. That's pretty good.
I'm good at 29 things. What's your point? But he will say, okay, I'm going to send you home. And honestly, I like your world. As I said, it's primarily where my stuff is. So, yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Fuck up.
Home is where your stuff is.
It is.
All right. Now, I swear to God, if any of you wake up and do the "and you were there, and you were there, and you were there" moments, I will drag Julie Garland's soul kicking and screaming out of hell and have her haunt you to the rest of existence. I'll do it.
Don't think he won't. He's crazy.
Julie Garland.
No, I was a fan of the Wizard of Oz.
On the side note, hey Asagi, when this is all over, want to go fuck with Asgard? Because it's really funny.
Oh, hell yes.
At which point he will very casually turn, tap his staff one more time on the ground,
And then you guys are falling, like literally just like, and then there was no floor levels of falling as the staff zooms down into Sketch's hands before you will all land thunk, 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 right in a what I would lovingly refer to as right in the middle of the Phoenix Park in Dublin. There are small craters where you land, but none of you take any damage. And you are clutching the Sketch is clutching Sung Wuklong's staff.
Mara she was going down. She probably would have pointed to the mask, not actually touching it. Yeah, the vampire mask, and saying, "Save that for me."
Ross will simply say,
I thought I managed to give you a false hint with the mask by saying it's part of the Empress's set. So I was thinking that you guys would have gone, wait a minute, it's part of a set, it's missing its partner. But yeah, you guys chose well.
Okay, so with
I'm gonna get that mask now.
Because you clearly want rank 5 in a single discipline of your choice without the ability to use blood on it.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, boys and girls, we will end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin where Hong Kong Fooey, he's another dead today.